Hey y'all, so I have a collective reading for you guys. Unfortunately, I imported it several times, and for some reason, when it comes from my phone to the computer, the white balance is completely thrown off. I am not an editing pro, an editing queen, so I try to do what I can, but quite honestly, you can't really see any of the cards or like the details. And the white cards, just forget about it. You can't see anything. Um, but it just seems like there's like an explosion of sun on the screen. So I'm very sorry about that, but the message is still there, and hopefully I can get this together for next time. But yeah, here's your first quarter reading for 2021. Enjoy.
Energy, and I'm not one of the people who reading is my ultimate calling, and that's where I feel called to do the work. I feel called to do it when I feel called to do it, not the primary focus. And I'm working on defining that clearer, because working with spirits, working with ancestors, working with manifestation, you need to be clear and direct and very obvious as to what you want, what you desire. So definitely taking this first month of the year to really hammer home, what do I want? What do I want to be manifesting? What do I want to be doing? Putting a name to it, and verbally, or writtenly, or that's not a word, but verbally, whether it's written or orally, um, concreting that in me and in my mind and in my manifestation and my verbiage and my everything, and that really be my core identity. Um, but anyways, I just completely went on a spiel. So yeah, I just got caught up in a moment talking about I don't know what. But anyways, so I felt called to do a collective 2021 reading, but this isn't all of the 2021 reading, and this is why, or this isn't all for all of 2021, and this isn't for everybody. This is for who sees it, who I feel called specifically to send it to, and who comes across it, obviously, and you take what resonates and you leave the bones, but also maybe some things may not necessarily resonate right now, right? Because this is commentary on times that have yet to happen, but in some ways have happened. We're going to get into that, talking about karmic cycles and loops. But anyways, this isn't all of 2021, because like I said, I like to get very specific. So this is the first quarter, this is the first 4 months, this is the beginning of 2021, gathering our bearings, setting a foundation, setting up routines, habits, identifying who we are, what we want, etc. Look, I'm already kind of getting into the reading. Everything has been kind of that way. So now you kind of have a hint of where this reading is kind of ended up going. But anyways, this is the first quarter 2021 collective reading. It specifically hit with me with some like specific things. Obviously, I am part of the collective, so there's certain things that really hit me on a personal level in relation to things that are going on or have gone on in my life or are coming up in my life. So those things really hit, and I can just imagine how they might have hit for other people. And there are some, like, I did get some, like, randomly, like, really channeled specific messages for, somebody specifically who may be watching, which could be just one or two of y'all. There's a couple messages here and there that are just, like, literally right pinpointed, so it may not be something specifically for you. But anyways, I am rambling on. Okay, so let's get into the cards that we ended up pulling. We have the Six of Wands, the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Two of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. Those are your tarot. With our Botany Oracle, we got Hawthorn, Sacred, also known as Cretaceous monagina. I don't really know. I should have probably looked that up. And then we got burdock, tenacity, Arctium lapa. For our observation deck, we got listen and create a sacred space. So we got sacred twice. Definitely gonna get into that. And then we have angel of new life, angel of guidance, and angel of abundance. And I'll read their little messages when we get to them. So I'm just gonna get my notes. I write a lot because it helps me get through the messages that are coming through, and it helps me get really detailed. So like it helps me process what I'm saying or what's going on in my head or what's being spoken to me. So like up here was like a lot of like this to write off the fat notes that were just hitting me that I had to write down, and then these are like specific messages that came through with each card. So yeah. Right off the bat, I was hit with almost like it was like a channeled message specifically for myself, and that's kind of where this started off as. It was like, what's kind of going to be my reading, but I was kind of thinking of like for my collective as well, but I wasn't really thinking of posting it for the collective, just kind of channeling the overall collective energy, if that makes sense. But it was definitely like, for myself. And then I felt called to share the message when I realized just how much was coming through. And I was like, okay, this isn't, just for me. I mean, it is a collective energy reading. So, but definitely it was like, whew. Eight of Swords, Eight of Wands, like, okay, moving forward, new horizons, like we are launching off. But that Eight of Swords energy of like feeling stuck, feeling imprisoned, feeling trapped, like, and then we have like the loops of the two of cups, and I just get like this idea of like breaking karmic cycles, right? We're creating karmic energy and karmic growth. Like that just kept coming out, like breaking this cycle, breaking this loop, breaking out of this imprisonment of our own doing or of somebody else's, or whatever percentage of each and this or that. And then I was creating a sacred space. We got create a sacred space, we got sacred here, we have this 10 of cups here, where it's this and an angel of abundance. A steady flow of abundance is about to manifest, right? And then angel of new life, an exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. You get this idea that you're moving forward in your karmic cycle. We're breaking free of the old loops and the old cycles and the old oppressions that have held us back, held us down. And we're trying to find harmonious, loving, energetic relationships, ties, or loops. We're trying to go into now a good karmic loop, a good karmic cycle, good karmic energy, good symbiosis. Here we're alone. We are alone and then trapped, and then we have the Eight of Wands where we're alone and triumphant because we were alone, but we pushed forward, we broke through to be able to not be alone, right? To be able to be in harmonious relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not, and this really came through, it's not just speaking of romantic relationships. This is because as a collective, I also had started this with tapping into my own personal collective organization that I work with, that I've been a part of, that is going through these very personable moments with each other right now, and have been. And so that really hit me, seeing like that message coming through, because it was something so specific with me, and with my relationships with people, specifically when it comes to friendships, where I'm, a bit, to get really vulnerable and real with y'all, like I don't really have friends, whether it's of my own doing or whatever. I feel like I don't really have friends, and I don't really maintain long-lasting relationships and meaningful relationships. Like I have this desire, I have this want for good relationships with people, intimate relationships with people, not just intimate romantically, but intimate in that, having a best friend, or something like that, and that support and that community. But there's these karmic cycles, these karmic loops, a lot of shadow work and etc. that I have luckily had tackled a lot, or had at least addressed or shed light on or named within 2020, that it's utilizing that to move forward, to launch forward, and really taking this month to hammer down what it is that I want and how to obtain it, and then using this fire, this energy that we have in this first quarter of this year to really do that, to really build the foundation for the things that I have name within this month, and then taking this first quarter to really lay the foundations for all of those things that I'm trying to manifest, which includes trying to have these positive relationships with people, and meaningful relationships with people, then it can be obtained. Whew. Totally went kind of like off script, right? Because a lot of this stuff we're going to kind of also get to again. But I hope that kind of made sense, that I really got, yeah. Sometimes I kind of lost myself there, because I kind of like came to, and I was like, wait, where am I? Where was I staying? Like, so I kind of may have lost my train of thought, and maybe some of it didn't make sense, but I hope that it did. But now I want to get into just kind of specifically talking about some of the cards. I've already just kind of touched on it, but we'll start. So we can start with the Eight of Swords, which we all know. I mean, well, maybe we don't. I mean, it's not saying we all know, but I touched on it just a moment ago. Is this feeling of being trapped? And traditionally, people who know tarot, this is pretty much exactly how the card looks anyways, and it just always represents, it's this woman that's tied up and there's swords all around her, but if she simply just walked forward, she would be fine. She could just walk out of there, right? So this card speaks of feeling trapped, helpless or hopeless or powerless, and our own fear, thinking, or anxiety is what's keeping us trapped, and that we can walk right out of this, right? So we can walk out of these cycles that we have been either born into or bred into, or have bred for ourselves, or somebody has made them for us. Either way, we can walk right out, but that's not, let me also clarify this, that is the hardest part. If you don't know, your eyes are covered, you do not know that if you walk forward, there could be a bear trap, that could be on the edge of a cliff. If you walk forward, you could drop to your death. You don't know, you can't see. So overcoming that and just having, quite honestly, faith, or hope, or just trust within oneself and within the energy around you and what you desire and what you need, etc., you can break out of those loops. But it's the hardest part is just trusting and doing it. So it seems so easy. Oh, all you have to do is walk forward. You can break the cycle. You can break the loop. You can break free. You can move forward. You can get out of this situation. You can be successful. You can start that endeavor. You can start that workout plan. You can do whatever it is that you're wanting to do that is so terrifying that we've never done before, and we've stayed in that cycle of not achieving or not doing or not breaking. You can do that. There's a simple answer, yes or no, but it may not be so. And actually, there may be a simple solution, but the action of doing that is not easy. When we get a solution to some of these math problems, that solution might just be a 2-digit number, a 3-digit number, but you had to do all these other extra steps, right? Like, what is it? I don't really know. Math was my worst subject, but like what quadratic expressions and stuff like that, like the answer ends up just being 27, 135 or whatever it is, but you have to do all these different little formulas to find that one answer. But the solution is simple. The answer is simple, but the work may not be. And that's the hardest part, is having to do the work and wanting to do the work. But we have this Eight of Wand energy, this fiery, this horizon, this highly energized time, this ready to launch. Look, she's shooting her shot, right? She's throwing that javelin. She's saying, I'm going to freaking survive. I'm going to kill me a bison. I am going to get my food. I am going to be resilient. Tenacity. I am going to survive. I am going to overcome. I am going to break that cycle. Tenacity. No matter what the circumstance, all of this hardship that has happened, that is endured, I am going to break through. I am going to break forward. And then I got a channeled message here for those that may be embarking on a diet plan or journey, or like some type of exercise, physical well-being journey, whether it's yoga, meditation, diet, things like that. This is the year, right? I see this like, even looking at this, I got like a very channel, like she almost looks like she's in workout gear, right? And she has like it looks like a sweatband, but it's just like her hair parted. But it looked like, to me, it just looks, and the javelin is an Olympic event or whatever, and so it just gives me very energy. It gives me fire. It gives me exercise. It gives me working out. It gives me healthier lifestyle. It makes me, I want to feel better. I want to have more energy. I want to feel stronger. I want to feel whatever these things are. And with that, I need to do a cleanse, a juice, a this, a that, maybe go vegan twice a week or whatever it is. This is that year. So harness that energy. This first quarter reading, this is, make those habits, get into those good habits, get into your groove, and you can build upon it. January is, maybe I'll start doing this. Then we build into this. There's this app that it's called the Fabulous app. I love it. It's very helpful. It's like the one app that I think has been very helpful in that sort of thing, in creating routine, creating habits, even when I don't always stick with it. So you do always have to give yourself grace. And I love that it doesn't make you like feel bad. It's not like it shows progress, but it doesn't like say like, oh, you're back to zero or whatever. It doesn't make you feel bad or anything. It just, you just see your progress, or if you don't complete, your little routine all the way through that day. But then, you also have to be able to give yourself grace. Like, right now I can't really do yoga because I've hurt my knee. I just haven't really been in that space. But I really need to get back into the energy space of moving, and so I'm building up to that. But anyways, again, on a tangent. So for people who are kind of embarking on that journey, this is your year. This is your year that you can really accomplish that. So embark on these quarter readings with me, right? Like, let's build these habits together. Let's build, and this is also goes into, these having meaningful relationships, right? Get into these habits with people. Get into habits with how you, when you speak to people, how you speak to people, whatever it is that you need to do. Get into the habits of doing that to achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Because let me zoom back out, because like I said, there was this very specific, like the exercise, lifestyle, dietary people really pop through for that one, but I want to zoom out for everybody else, because this is the year of achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve, for manifesting whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, that you probably were really trying to manifest in 2020, and then 2020 happened, right? And so this first quarter is, okay, we're coming out of 2020, we're gathering our bearings, we're setting up our foundation, because we kind of got a clue as how this is going to work. And even if it gets worse, we've already seen it at its super worst almost. So we can kind of expect it. And if it gets better, then that's just even better for us. So we can kind of work within that energy, that lingering energy, because 2020 isn't done, obviously, right? We're in 2021, we're barely into 2021, and all of this stuff, it's not done. It's just begun. This is the beginning of something new, right? Again, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I just get these messages that come through me. Real mediumship shit, right? But yeah, to zoom it out for people, this year is the year to start achieving those things that you want to do again, that we wanted to be doing, where everything kind of got put on hold. We can start resuming, and we can do it. And we just got to start laying these foundations within this first quarter, start building those habits, start building that vision board, start manifesting, start getting into the groove of things, start making a routine, start doing something different and sticking with it, and sometimes we start getting back to the old groove of things, start doing your makeup again. If you did your makeup, if that's what brought you happiness in that, or if you become a baker over the quarantine, maybe start doing that more often, getting back into the groove of really expanding upon what we want and what we've built for ourselves and what we want to build for ourselves. But yeah, because then we have the Six of Wands, which is all about recognition, flying high, victory, triumph, winning a battle, successful campaign. So again, the successful campaign thing really stuck out for me, because again, a lot of this kind of related personally to me on multiple different personal situations, but one of them that I've touched on was within my or social justice organization, that's based out of San Antonio. It's called BFC. But seeing like the word successful campaign that popped out, I was like, whoa, like that gives me hope about this organization and where we can be and where we're going to be, and we're really gonna, it just kind of prophesies like we're gonna have we're coming through this tough cycle, this tough loop, this tough thing that kind of has kept us in a bind for like the last quarter of 2020. But we have done the work, and we are doing the work, the hard work, the dirty work of working through these things and setting a foundation to break out of that cycle. And just seeing that successful campaign just was really nice to see that we are going to move forward and grow and have better relationships with each other within that organization. It just gave me hope, and really excited to be able to help our communities and better serve ourselves and people who look like us. So it made me really happy on that. So I wanted to say for other people that that's definitely that if you have been, also I hear if you've been winning or fighting a battle, you will be winning those. You will be winning that if you have multiple battles on multiple fronts, legal battles, marital battles, legal battles. I hear again financial battles. I hear legal battles a lot. But you will be winning those. You will be successful in painting who you are and being who you are and being in that truth, if that makes sense. But yeah. So going into the Two of Cups and the Ten of Cups, the Two of Cups signify harmony and mutual respect, appreciation, within friendships, partnerships, and relationships. Coming into harmonic or mutually beneficial symbiotic relationships, especially in business or life or vision and mission or accomplishment. So again, I wanted to stress these relationships are not necessarily romantic relationships. If you are somebody who are specifically channeling romantic, then yes, then it's a romantic relationship for you. But if you're somebody who's like me, who's wanting to just build better relationships in general and also build better networking or business relationships specifically, and mission relationships, accomplishing, like-minded goals and stuff like that, that really stuck out, especially because we have this little symbol here, which I'm gonna look it up in this book because it tells you it, and you can probably look up more information about it if you're interested. It's called the Caduceus of Hermes, or the Caduceus of Hermes, which is a symbol of commerce, trade, and exchange. And then which has the lion's head right there, which is a symbol of a passionate, fiery energy within a connection. So I feel like specifically to my entrepreneurs, my business people, my people going into, and even if you're not necessarily doing something with somebody, but maybe learning from somebody, like for my stocks people, investment people, where this might be a solo journey in a sense. You don't have you may not have a business where you're working with multiple people, but where you learn and you network and you and teach. Those types of relationships are going to be very beneficial, really on the come up. Like overall, we're really thriving, and I really to my Black people, like we are really thriving this year. We always thrive, right? But just seeing with the Two of Cups and the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups, and obviously with the Black love and the Black energy and the Black art on there, it's really coming through. Like we're really going to be in this moment of connectivity with each other, mutual respect and benefits with each other, symbiotic relationships with each other. We're going to be very we're going to have this. We've already seen it, 2020, right? We're already seeing it. I mean, if you're on Clubhouse, if you're on Twitter, we're already seeing it. We've been seeing it for a while, but really 2020, it kind of really is in our faces of the like Black folks stay winning, right? Like we've seen this crazy push for Black business, Black ownership, Black commerce, Black money flow, etc., etc. I mean, it's absolutely boomed. 2021, we're breaking that cycle of economic oppression. Wow, this message is just like suddenly coming through right now. We're breaking this cycle of economic oppression, and we're gonna be bountiful and plentiful, and our cups are gonna run us over, and we're gonna have this balance and this love and this care and this compassion and this symbiosis within our community that's really going to solidify, began to solidify, really, should I say, 2021 overall. Because I feel like, 2021 is definitely still not going to be it. We need to make sure that we stay grounded in reality. 2021 is not going to be it, but this is when things are going to start getting tied down. These are things when things are going to start, the roots are going to start laying into the ground, so that by 2022 they can lock in, right? Ten of Cups is just that. I mean, it's straight happiness. It's for our love seekers. We got domestic bliss. So if we got people that are in marriages or in relationships or are seeking that, you will be definitely with the domestic bliss, living your best life. But that also means for anybody, we're going to be absolutely living our best life in the ways that we can come 2021, and we'll be prepared to actually be able to live our best life within the parameters of 2021 and that residual energy of 2020 and what will continue to linger. We are going to learn to live our best life within what we have and be so abundant and fruitful, and fulfilled emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, romantically, intimately, and be fulfilled within. We are going to be fulfilled and be able to feel fulfilled. Do you understand? I wrote here, abundance in all desired aspects of life and love, divine alignment with your vision of life for yourself and the world you want to see and be a part of. Also, for some folks, very quickly, reuniting, rebuilding. So I don't know, some folks maybe I don't really want to say anything about an ex. I don't really like talking about like love, ex, whatever. I don't do those types of readings. But there's definitely going to be some type of reuniting, a rebuilding, a reunion. And again, like for me specifically, that really touched on like my collective and stuff like that. Like, taking this time to rebuild, and there's going to be harmony, as a result. So, we are through your tarot. And that's just the tarot. And this is just the first 4 months of the year. So yeah, I'm telling you, I do a lot. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I had to take a break. I was just, smoke a little something. But anyways, I'm back. I had to take a break. I had to take a food break. I had to take an energy break. I guess this is a big read. So anyways, just gonna go ahead and clear the energy and tune myself back in. Tune ourselves back in. Take some of that Satara's Florida water. I'm supposed to be getting a new one because unfortunately this one came to me with just about that much in it. Oof, my hands. Okay. I'm a very much a sound person. Sound cleansing, sound healing, sound clearing. Yeah. Because I hear everything. Like I hear the words. I hear the messages. I hear everything. So definitely need to energetically cleanse in regards to hearing, which is really funny because we have listen as one of our observation deck oracle cards. So I'm not quite sure. I think we left off like right at the end of tarot. Um, so going into our Hedge Witches field guide, the Botany Oracle, that's what I call it. It's by Ciolo Thompson. Excuse me. We got our first card in the Botany Oracle, which is Hawthorn. Sacred is the Oracle property. Looking at this card, I right off think of like the heart chakra and the root chakra, because I see red, but then also the hawthorn root. When I read some of the insert, the hawthorn plant is widely used for cardiovascular health. So really working on that heart chakra. So again, finding your purpose, finding your meaning, finding your foundation, which is your root chakra, really taking time to establish those roots, but also taking time to establish the why and the purpose and the feeling and the heart of it all. And also, the heart chakra is dealing with relationships and dealing with interpersonal relationships and partnerships, and having a care for the bigger picture, having a care for your fellow person, and the visions and the missions that we have because we care. Another thing about the hawthorn is, its home is, in the magical kind of aspect, it's known as the house of the fae, of the fairies, and it's one of the most popularly used trees for a witch's broom, and it's really celebrated, ritualized for a lot of goddess rituals. Like a lot of the female practitioners or femme identifying practitioners of like druidism, and also places where the hawthorn is prevalent, which I think is like the northern hemisphere. Let me look in here real fast. Well, it says that the berries are even more popular in Asia than they are in Europe and North America. And I know, so it's kind of like all over the place, but it's really known in the northern hemisphere. Or there we go. It's all over the northern hemisphere. But anyways, so it's also celebrated like because it blooms in the early May, and you guys have definitely seen this tree. You guys definitely know what it smells like. I'll get to that in a second. You guys have, well, I don't want to say all of you all, but like a lot of you all, if you look up the hawthorn tree, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I definitely know this tree. And it's super beautiful when it blossoms. It's almost reminiscent of like gardenia or like cherry blossoms. But it's celebrated in the early spring, and in like May, there's a festival called Beltane, where it's very much seen as like the threshold to the other realm. So I feel like for some of y'all, this the thinness between this other realm, or like the higher self, or this higher consciousness, or like that thin like crossing over into like an actual new cycle, a new karmic loop, a new karmic cycle, a new karmic energy, a new beginning, a new just maturity, growth, if you put it into less ethereal terms. That you're right on the threshold of that. This is the time to make a sacred space, a sacred, because this tree is very sacred, and it was utilized in goddess rituals. And so for all my goddesses out there, and goddess is a non-binary term, this is a time to celebrate yourself, celebrate your space, create space for yourself, take up space. You know, creating ritual and creating habits and creating a ritual sacred space for yourself where you have a center of your goddess ritual, your self-love ritual, your self-care ritual, gaining good habits in whatever way that is. That doesn't necessarily always mean, oh, I'm gonna do a yoga or I'm gonna do this. But if you create your workspace could be an altar space, and you know, I'm just going to go ahead and get into create a sacred space since we're there. Your workspace can be an altar. Carve out a time and place for you. Let every place be a representation of you and your world and how you want to see it and how you want it to be. This luxuriousness, this hedonism, and when I say luxurious and hedonism, I don't mean necessarily that aesthetic, but whatever it is that you want, if it is the most minimalistic, basic, all stark white look, then you do that and you do it well for yourself. And you let your life reflect that. If it's rainbow colored and twill, then you go off on that. And you have a space where that is all it is, and you incorporate that into your day-to-day life, those habits. If it's, you know, a workout plan, you have an ode to that everywhere you are. If maybe at your desk you have either dumbbell charms or actual maybe some little handheld dumbbell, or if, you know, your screensaver is your diet plan or whatever it is. You may make a vision board. Creating a sacred space. And for some of us, it is decluttering. You know, we talk about a lot of, for our hoodoos out there, one of the big things about going into the new year is that you clean out everything. But obviously that is a task, and we are tired and we don't have the capacity to do all that all at once. But figure out what declutter it is for you. And I'm sure y'all have seen there's been a lot of threads. I've seen a lot of threads like this on Twitter. So it's great that it's coming back up again in this space to reiterate. If you've seen it as much as I have, this is a reiterating message for me, is taking time to declutter all spaces, parts of your life, one bit at a time. So that's why I was saying, I've been saying a lot, it's been coming to me that I'm going to take this month of January to really solidify and establish these routines and my purpose, my purpose, my reasons, my goals, my manifestations, and then take these first 4 months to really to solidify that. You know, take January to really identify that and put them into motion, and then take this first quarter to really work them and stay with them and build a successful foundation, so that the rest of the year it's just smooth sailing as it can be. So definitely, you know, carving out this time and this space for myself and the things that I want, and identifying those things that I want, that I need, that I desire, etc. Like I said at the beginning of the first video. But moving on to the next oracle is Burdock Tenacity, and I know I definitely touched on that during the tarot reading. Okay, I'll hold that up again. Burdock Tenacity. This one was again like a message to those of us who have had we've all had a very hard, rough time, but maybe some of us have had a very specific or particular rough journey, lifetime wise, or within the last couple of years. And to know that you having this tenacity to push forward, to break these karmic circles, to break these energetic cycles, to break that immaturity, to grow up, to make those changes, to make those sacrifices that you need to actually get what you want, which you've always said you've wanted. But you have to actually put in work. You have to actually do the hard things. You can't just always have it be easy. You can't always have the good things, or you can't just always do the easy things or the things that seem easy or good, whatever that means to you. you had to make those hard decisions, those decisions that may not immediately feel good, but you know are better for you in the long term. Having the tenacity though to actually learn that lesson and stick through that lesson and follow through that lesson, and to do that and to just walk forward and overcome that fear of not knowing, the fear of the unknown, overcoming that fear and pushing forward. Having that tenacity, that's what's going to, you're going to have that high reward, that 10 of cups, that abundance. You're going to have the angel of abundance. A steady flow of abundance is about to manifest, right? Angel of new life, an exciting new chapter in your life is about to unfold. So you're coming into this new chapter, this new level of growth, this new level of maturity, this new level of understanding. You might be coming to a new level within your spiritual awakening, your education. You know, you're at this new level as an adult, or as a teen, or whatever. Yeah, just as a person, you are at a new level than you were before. And you know, a lot of people will try and say, oh well, everybody is, but no, that's not the case. We very much know a lot of people stay in the same place for a long time, and there are generally, you know, very big milestones that people hit inevitably, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it changes a lot. So I'm getting the sense that people are at just a new, that's not saying good or bad, or whatever, we're not applying any of that meaning to it, but it's just a new point. Collectively, we are at a new point within this generation in these eras. We're at a new maturity, we're at a new growth, we're at a new depletion, we're at a new point, we're at a turning point. So, excuse me. And so having this tenacity to pivot with the times, to turn with this new point, even though it's not easy and it's hard and it brings up a lot of issues, it brings up a lot of triggers, it brings up a lot of trauma. And so many times we've given up, we've tried to give up, we've wanted to give up, but yet we still keep on. We don't know why we do, and we feel like we're coming to our wits' end, but we keep going. It's paying off, and it's going to pay off. We're going to start seeing reaping the benefits, the rewards of sticking through and persevering and still rising. Lastly, well, kind of not lastly, because we have angel of guidance. I've already talked about the angel of new life and angel of abundance. The angel of guidance, we have a renewed sense of direction and purpose will soon manifest. So again, we're entering, you know, we're entering that first quarter. We're entering that new turning point. We're entering that new pivot point. We're entering what exactly it is we want and we don't want. We're manifesting. We're desiring. We want to learn. We want to teach. We wanted this. We wanted that. What exactly do we want to learn? What exactly do we want to teach? And our why and our purpose, etc., etc. That guidance and that purpose and that foundation is manifesting within this first quarter. If we stick through it and we allow ourselves to keep manifesting and building upon it, that purpose will stick with us. But moving on to the listen oracle from the observation deck, I immediately felt like sound healing. Like I said, this is very direct towards me, and I felt like, you know, there's other people that also need to hear it. Sound healing, crystal sound baths, or singing bowl baths, and just, you know, the frequency, the cleansing frequencies and stuff like that. Like that's really important. Or making noise, you know, figuring out, just using noise to really help you breathe, to help you release, right? Using noise to help you cleanse, to move away, to protect yourself. Listen listen to spirit, listen to your body, listen to these cleansing noises, these cleansing frequencies. I got a lot of different like prescriptions or suggestions for people when this card came out. Like there was something really interesting in the booklet. It was said, close your eyes and identify all the levels and textures of your auditory world, right? So like just take a moment to close your eyes, right? And maybe work on this throughout January to kind of help. I think I'm going to start utilizing this to kind of help with my meditation, because my monkey brain is all over the place. It's really bad. I think I'm going to try and use flame meditation because my brain is just all over the place. But anyways, sometimes there's so many noises happening on so many different levels. And I've done this a few times and it's always remarkable. So this being brought up in this book was definitely like a message or a reminder, like, hey, do that again. Like it was really cool. It was really helpful. But there's always so many noises going on, right? There's the wind blowing, maybe off in the distance we can hear the cars, plus, maybe the water heaters going. And if you listen, you might hear a dog in the distance, and then you can hear your breath, and you can hear, your foot on the carpet. Off in the distance, you can hear the faint backing up of a truck. So yeah, just take time to close your eyes. Oh, ooh, something just really took over me right there. Oh, really heavy. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and clean sonically. Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, definitely try doing that. Excuse me. I got like so much energy and weight just like dropped on me. It's frankly made me a little nauseous, sick. I'm gonna have to up the protection. Okay. Try writing what you hear also, it's very important that we kind of remember and we take time to remember the things that we learn from, whether it's readings, from meditations, from listening to podcasts or speeches, or if you're on Clubhouse, or if you're doing a reading on yourself, or if you're doing readings for other people or the collective, or you're getting a reading, or you're watching a YouTube reading, or you're getting a divination, to take note, to remember, whether for me it is writing notes, but for some it might be recording, whether you're doing a voice memo or a screen record, or a screen grab or whatever, to really remember, so that you can go back and you can continue growing on that foundation that lesson is teaching you, the first thought, and then growing off of what you've learned and what will continue to learn. For a lot of you, this was really coming at me, but I feel like there's also, like I said, some of y'all that need to hear journaling, be free. I think that there's a lot of us that we really should get into journaling, but I know for me specifically, and maybe this resonates for some of you all, is that I try to structure it too much. Like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a writing prompt, or I'm gonna make it like an entry of my day, and it's like, that's not necessarily, like, you don't have to do that. It can be anything. Like, you can manifest with lists. I'm a list maker. I love making lists. Bullet points, or just like, writing to decipher like the notes that are in my head. or typing, notes on my notes app to take like brainstorm notes and stuff like that. But I think a lot of us really need to get into writing stuff down and revisiting them. That's another big thing, is to revisit what we're writing. So in some ways, get a little bit more intentional with our writing. I know, and in some ways, in that way, maybe get a structure, but also allowing ourselves to be free and unorganized and unstressed. And I know that those are two very diametrically opposed ideas, but being intentional in that you when you are writing something, you're not just you're not filling your journal with the grocery list, and that's not taking up space. Like, a grocery list should be taken out, right? Because you're utilizing it for that piece of paper to go, and then you buy it and then you throw it away. But anyways, just to get like some type of intention behind what you're writing, so that you're constantly revisiting it and you're manifesting it and maybe adding on to it when you revisit it. For a lot of us, writing is our manifestation. We have to listen to that little voice inside our head and write it down. Kind of, this was in my divination earlier last summer with Ehime. They told me how writing is my way of being able to clarify messages and kind of really decipher what everything that's going on in my head and everything that I'm hearing in my head, that and just clarify my thoughts. And it's how I'm able to move mountains. It's my best form of manifestation, and I feel like that is so for a lot of us, especially some of us who used to do poetry or participate in things like that in high school and college, or used to write, or used to read a lot too. Oh, look at my candle started going crazy. Yes. For our readers, we've kind of fallen out of that manifestation, and things become so cluttered, and we almost feel like we can't write or read anymore because everything is just so much. But that first step is the hardest, is just actually doing it, tackling it, and then maybe just like overcoming it, and then building that foundation, that routine, that habit. And then a lot, Spirit said, for those of us that used to write poetry and songs and stuff like that, definitely get back to doing that. And then lastly, I wanted to just end with a writing prompt for those of us who maybe don't know where to start. Describe the image or memory or dream, a sound you hear around you, right now or today or in this moment, whenever you hear this or whenever you decide to do this. Describe the image that it invokes, or the memory or the dream. Like when you hear that sound, what are you thinking of? What are you imagining? What are you remembering? What are you personifying? And create a poem or a short story or a journal entry or description, whatever it is. Just write about it. If you're literally just describing the sound and the image that it brings up, but make sure you're describing what it invokes as well. But yeah, so with that, I think I'm just gonna close it off there. I don't really have any more final thoughts. I am whoop. All right, y'all. I hope this resonates with you guys, and if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, or yeah, that's probably the best way. Yeah, or if you're on Clubhouse. But yeah, okay. Enjoy.